Hey guys, Chris here in the first ever quote-unquote proper YouTube video. Now, I'm new to this and a little bit uncomfortable, so expect barely any editing and me kinda stumbling, fumbling, tumbling, or otherwise just mispronouncing some things now and then. A lot of this video is going to be off script, so yeah, do enjoy and it is what it is. So, what we'll be talking about today is this situation right here, a report by Daily Mail Online about a drunk dental receptionist who groped and told a 13-year-old boy, "I'm going to ride you till morning," being spared jail. Now, the focal point of this video is not actually regarding the situation itself. As fucked up as it is, I want to focus this on a discussion this caused, this situation, this post. The consequences of a very, very damaging sentiment that quite a lot of people seem to share by either making light of the situation in a disgusting manner, or even worse, attacking the boy who was sexually assaulted is what I predominantly want to talk about. Now, for a little bit of context, this right here is the article. Now, the title says, "Drunk dental receptionist who groped schoolboy 13 and told him she wanted to ride him till morning before exposing herself and waking up remembering nothing after a white wine binge is spared jail." Now, that is quite a mouthful, and the article is long-ish. I will post it in the description for those of you guys who want to go over it yourself, but there are just a few paragraphs that I want us to be familiar with so that as we move forward with this, it kind of all falls into place and makes sense as to what I'm talking about. So yeah, a dental receptionist sexually assaulted a 13-year-old boy after she began chatting him up at a random following a white wine binge. Jade Berry, 27, was staggering through Rivaker Valley Country Park in Ellesmere Port, Cheshire at 9 p.m. when she accosted the child as he sat on a woodland bench talking with a friend about his forthcoming 14th birthday. Berry sat between the two boys and began stroking the 13-year-old's genitals over his clothing before offering him sex and saying she would ride you till morning. As the shocked youngster and his friend got up to leave, she pulled down her trousers and exposed herself before passing out in a drunken stupor. The two boys took videos of Berry before getting up to leave. She was identified after leaving her bank card and phone on the bench. One other paragraph here that is super important is this one right here. 13-year-old who had ADHD said he was so traumatized by the encounter that he tried to take his own life. Now, I've picked out a few specific tweets with some level of support behind them because I both want to ridicule and insult the living shit out of some of these people, and I want to provide what I feel like is a little bit closer to a proper explanation as to why this type of mentality that we're about to explore is so dangerous, but that will come in just a little bit. First, we'll start off with slightly less doomer approach and look at 3 tweets with massive levels of support behind them. They're about as based as it gets. Now, if you don't care for these, you can just skip to the segment of the video when I'm shitting on people, but I'd encourage you to stick through the entire video from start to finish. So, the first tweet that we'll talk about is this one. This is a child predator and you all think it's okay because she's cute. Now, if it makes no sense who's the they who thinks it's okay, we'll get to that in just a sec. Another one from Bob saying, "Now, if the victim was a 13-year-old girl and the dental receptionist a 200-pound male, does anybody believe he would be spared jail time? Female discount is a real thing." And we'll talk about I believe it's the female privilege that this tweet is alluding at, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. And the final tweet is the 13-year-old, quoting the article, who has had ADHD, said he was so traumatized by the encounter that he tried to take his own life. And this person's asking, why did this lady get no prison time? Now, as you can see from the number of likes on these, this is generally speaking where the public sentiment is at. But what we will talk about specifically and at length are the people whose opinion on this, let's say, differs. So yeah, let's move on to the scum of the earth. Now, the first tweet we'll criticize is this one right here. "Damn, she could have rode me," with 998 likes. Unless the person tweeting this is 13. No, she couldn't have. Or rather, she wouldn't have. Another tweet right here. "I prayed every night at 13 that some shit like this would happen to me. Life really isn't fair," with 978 likes. Now, a lot could be said about this mentality, but really, I will just boil it down to this. I, for one, am happy that your prayers were not answered and you were not sexually assaulted at the age of 13 by someone in a position of power. I don't think you're missing out on a lot here, buddy. Another one saying, anyone have a number for this dental office? I've got something I need pulled. Now, this one's, let's say, more on the humorous side of things rather than approving more or less of what she's done. But time and place, guys, time and place, right? Obviously, a lot of people seem to have resonated with this joke, but at the same time, again, time and place. Now, this one right here saying, again, highlighting the part about the boy who tried to take his own life, saying this is what a world without bullying leads to. I don't have anything smart or intelligent to say about this one. I don't quite think that bullying people then makes it less likely for them to have a traumatic response to, once again, being sexually assaulted. But the main tweet that we'll talk about, the main important one here, is not debating if what she did was good or bad. I simply want to ask what changed in society for kids now to have this reaction, whereas for something like this to happen was the dream of many boomer through millennial-aged boys. Now this one is worth unpacking at a little bit more of a length. Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm the most equipped person to tackle these kinds of situations, but I feel like what I might have to say might at the very least lead us in a more productive direction. Obviously, all of the tweets I've read out are relatively bad, but this one highlights a very, very specific issue that I very much dislike. So, generally speaking, let's talk about this a little bit more holistically. This type of mentality is incredibly bad for at least 3 reasons I can think of. Now, for one, it gives credence to the somewhat sexist mentality I urge you all not to fall prey to, where women, the group, get blamed for a woman, an individual, doing something fucked up and getting away with it. It also makes light of a genuinely messed up situation where an individual in a position of power knowingly sexually assaults a minor who not only does not consent, but is also unable to provide consent due to their age. And number 3, and perhaps most importantly, it takes confidence away from victims of sexual assault that they will be listened to and taken seriously. Now, this is a bit less hard logic and a bit more feelsy sort of territory, but just put yourself in a position of having gone through something like this, a sexual harassment or a sexual assault situation, and finding out that the person you'd otherwise want to talk to and want to simply express your feelings to believes, generally speaking, in a type of mentality that nothing bad happened, and if anything, they wished it had happened to them. I can't speak for anyone else other than myself, but it would crumble me personally. As to what changed in the society, now this is a question that is both relatively simple and at the same time near impossible to answer concisely. We're slowly, but steadily, it seems, moving our society in a direction where victims of this type of behavior are growingly, increasingly aware of what has happened to them. They grow increasingly rather comfortable to report this type of behavior, and they grow increasingly able to comprehend how actually fucked up of a situation it is when an adult individual preys on minors. There is one more thing that I will say at the risk of offending some potential viewers. Now, don't mistake this for any kind of self-hatred. I'm rather comfortable in who I am, but the next time a situation like this occurs, if you wish to attack women for getting away with something like this, I urge you to have a look at the profiles of people saying the kind of stuff we've gone over today and see how many of them are men. Now, that will be it for the video. I have nothing else I wish to say. Thank you for watching till the end. If you have indeed watched till the end, feel free to like and subscribe if you did like it. Or, don't. I'm not your dad. I'm going to tell you what to do. And yeah, I'll be back with another one of these relatively soon. Bye-bye now.